course, there was impact of heroin, of course, has consequences, right? Social, physical, whatever. But I think we would probably say that the major more impact is probably the draconian laws around how heroin was policed would probably be a much larger impact on Chicago residents in particular. And I almost guarantee you that you are going to get a different response from law enforcement or from politicians. And I know that our name is going to be a little confusing, but we're actually not a treatment organization. So we are a harm reduction advocacy organization. So we are like a syringe service program, right? So we bring safer use consumption materials to folks who are actively using. So we and Dan Bigg, who is the founder of CRA, who definitely was doing this work in '93 or '94, and that, I mean, like, it's unfortunate that that he's not here with us, at this time in order to because I guarantee you he would love to weigh in. He passed away in 2018, but I guarantee you he would have a lot to say about this. So unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to ask him. So I cannot. I fortunately am unequipped to weigh in. I mean, like, I think that it's pretty well established that that there is a very specific targeting of folks who use drugs generally, but also heroin in particular, and it was mostly targeted towards the policing, I think, of like Black and brown communities. Now that's not specific to Chicago. That's I think across the nation. But yeah, I mean, and just like the general, I think, lack of compassion by government entities to, get people access to the treatment they need, or nonviolent drug possession, mandatory minimum sentencing. So I mean, there's a ton of different, I think, aspects of this that absolutely eviscerated populations, particularly marginalized populations in Chicago, and that's probably the advocates' view on this. Now, whether or not that can be translated into a comment about the international drug trading, specifically from you said Nigeria, I just don't know, but that's definitely more like domestic politics than international. At that time in the early 90s, it was mostly about HIV, but starting a syringe service program to help combat HIV. I mean, HIV and drug use are very linked, especially in the early 90s.